13 years after Robin Gibb's passing, the quiet that once surrounded his private struggles is slowly lifting, not through scandal, but through understanding. For many years, his children chose discretion over disclosure, believing that protecting their father meant preserving the dignity of the man behind the voice. Time, however, has a way of reshaping grief. As they grew older, carrying unanswered questions and unspoken truths, that silence began to feel heavier than honesty. Today, they are not trying to rewrite Robin's legacy, nor dismantle the admiration fans hold for him. Instead, they are offering clarity. Their words do not accuse or defend, they explain. What emerges is not a fallen icon, but a deeply human figure shaped by brilliance, sensitivity, and contradiction. In speaking now, his children are not exposing secrets. They are completing a story their father never had the chance to fully tell himself. A childhood marked by motion and music. Before the world knew his name, Robin Hugh Gibb was simply a restless child born on December 22, 1949, on the Isle of Man, arriving moments before his twin, Maurice. Raised by Hugh and Barbara Gibb, a musically inclined couple drawn to opportunity, Robin's early life was defined by movement. The family relocated frequently, from the Isle of Man to Manchester, then across the globe to Australia. Stability was rare, but creativity flourished. The Gibb boys were energetic and mischievous, known for antics that tested adult patience, yet hinted at sharp imagination. Amid that chaos, music became their anchor. Singing together calmed them in ways nothing else could. Robin's voice, delicate yet emotionally striking even in childhood, began to stand apart. Those early harmonies were not rehearsed ambitions but instinctive connections, laying the foundation for a future none of them could yet comprehend. Finding a voice before finding fame. Australia offered the Gibb brothers something they had never fully known before: a sense of direction. By the time Robin was 10, the group was performing publicly, and his tremolo voice carried a depth that felt far older than his years. Television appearances followed, and local audiences noticed something special in the soft, quivering tone that conveyed vulnerability and intensity at once. As recording opportunities emerged, the boys transitioned from childhood performers into serious young artists. When Robin sang lead on early tracks, it became clear that this was no fleeting phase. His voice carried emotion effortlessly, suggesting both confidence and fragility. Yet beneath the rising success, pressure quietly mounted. Fame arrived quickly, leaving little room for emotional preparation. Robin, sensitive by nature, absorbed expectations deeply. What appeared outwardly as a dream unfolding was, internally, the beginning of a lifelong tension between artistic expression and emotional strain. Love, distance, and early fractures. At just 18, Robin married Molly Hullis, a relationship formed during a period of rapid change and shared trauma. Their bond deepened after surviving a tragic train accident together, an experience that intensified their sense of connection. For a time, the marriage offered comfort amid growing fame, but success brought distance. Robin's career increasingly centered in the United States, while Molly remained in the UK raising their children. Physical separation slowly became emotional distance. The demands of touring, recording, and public expectation weighed heavily on Robin, amplifying exhaustion and anxiety. Friends later recalled mood swings that reflected a man struggling to balance creativity with pressure. Over time, the marriage unraveled, not from lack of care, but from sustained absence and unaddressed strain. When the relationship ended, it marked one of the first moments the public glimpsed how deeply fame had complicated Robin's personal world. Reinvention and a different kind of partnership. In the mid-1980s, Robin found a new beginning with Duina Murphy, an artist and writer whose spiritual outlook resonated with his introspective nature. Their relationship was built less on convention and more on mutual understanding. Duina provided emotional grounding, encouraging reflection rather than resistance to life's complexities. Together, they created a home that valued creativity and independence. Only years later would it become known that their marriage operated outside traditional expectations, a choice rooted in honesty rather than secrecy. While unconventional, It reflected Robin's ongoing search for balance between freedom and connection. This phase of his life was calmer on the surface, yet internally complex. Robin sought harmony not only in music, but in identity, navigating personal choices that did not always align neatly with public assumptions. Edwina remained a stabilizing presence, helping him confront, rather than escape, his emotional contradictions, the weight of rumors, and creative rivalries. Public fascination with Robin Gibb often blurred admiration with speculation. Rumors followed him for decades, fueled by visible tension within the Bee Gees and misunderstandings about his private life. Creative rivalry, particularly with his brother Barry, lingered beneath the group's seamless harmonies. While audiences heard unity, the brothers quietly wrestled with questions of recognition and artistic voice. Robin, whose emotional delivery defined many of their most poignant songs, struggled at times with feeling overshadowed. These feelings were not rooted in resentment, but in a deep need to be heard as an individual. Professional disagreements resurfaced periodically, reopening old wounds rather than resolving them. Combined with personal complexity, these tensions created narratives the public tried to interpret without context. Only now, through his children's reflections, is it becoming clear that these struggles were less about conflict and more about identity within extraordinary circumstances. Loss that changed everything. The death of Maurice Gibb in 2003 marked a turning point that permanently altered the family's emotional landscape. Maurice had long served as a bridge between Barry and Robin, easing tensions with humor and empathy. Without him, unresolved differences intensified. Grief manifested differently for each brother, and misunderstandings emerged around how Maurice's legacy should be honored. Public disagreements masked deeper pain, leaving Robin caught between loyalty and loss. His children later explained that this period was defined by confusion rather than intent. Communication broke down, not from lack of love, but from overwhelming grief left unprocessed. The distance that grew between the remaining brothers was never fully healed. Tragically, Robin never shared his illness with Barry, a silence born not of bitterness, but emotional exhaustion. That unspoken truth would later become one of the most heartbreaking elements of their shared history. A final battle fought with music. When Robin was diagnosed with advanced cancer, he faced the reality with the same intensity he brought to songwriting. Though physically weakened, he remained creatively driven, insisting on hope even as treatment took its toll. Music became both refuge and resistance. Collaborating with his son RJ on the Titanic Requiem, Robin poured meaning into every note, seeing the project as a reflection of endurance in the face of loss. Hospital rooms became temporary studios, and moments of pain were softened by melody. Those closest to him recalled determination rather than despair. In one extraordinary moment, after slipping into a coma, Robin briefly regained consciousness while music played nearby, a moment his family still describes with awe. Though the illness ultimately prevailed, his final days were marked by presence, love, and unwavering connection to music. What his children are finally sharing. In the years since Robin Gibb's passing, his children have chosen careful honesty over speculation. Their reflections confirm some long-standing assumptions while reframing others with compassion. They speak not to sensationalize, but to humanize.